Hi guys, welcome to another week of Wellbeing Wednesday. This is the amazing Nicole Robertson, and if you watched last week's video, it was on the 6Cs, and Nicole has this awesome 6Cs wall. So if you get the opportunity, come down and take a look. Her room is just filled with inspirational stuff, and I thought she'd be the perfect person to talk to us about having a growth mindset and how helping your students create a growth mindset.
And my banner back here, if you see it all, it says math helps us grow, because that's what we're looking for.
Whoa!
Anyway, both things. Anyway.
Why don't you start out by telling us why you became a teacher?
Okay, so when I was in 7th grade, I had a math teacher who had it in her mind that if it was not done to, like the assignment wasn't not done or the problem was not done to the way that she did it, it was wrong. And it got to the point where my math major dad and her had a sit-down conversation of like, why is she getting such a poor grade in this class when she does well in math? And the teacher was like, well, you have an attitude, it's not going to get better with her. And it was so abrasive. And it would be little things like if I didn't put arrows at the end of a line, which technically it does go on forever, but I didn't know it. She didn't share it with me so I could get better. And it was fixed. The grade was done. So like there was no redoing or doing anything better. And at the end of this horrible year, because my parents were under the impression that you deal with the hand you're dealt. So we stayed with it for the whole year. After that horrible year of tears and every night, I mean, you know, with math, and it's not always good and easy. I went to my dad and said, I'm going to become a math teacher. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, after this horrible thing, what happened? And I said, I don't want any kid to have to experience what I just did for a year of their life, especially during the hardest years of their life. And I want them to have that mindset that they can get better, whatever they're doing, they can fix, they can go back and learn it. Because that's what we're here to do in this life, is to learn. So, and grow.
And mistakes are how you learn.
Yeah.
If you never made mistakes,
better connections in the brain, 2 connections if you make a mistake and learn from it. So
yeah,
that's what we need to do.
So what do you do when you encounter a kid? I'm sure you do in math, because a lot of kids feel like math is more difficult.
So there's a lot of silence, a lot of crickets, right, in math, because they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to have that. And a couple of things that I do I want to talk about is the first one is I don't let them get away with playing the I don't know card. So I had a kid that started a thought today. It was great. Perfect example for this. He started a thought that was absolutely on the right track, and he stopped and he would not say any more out loud. And I said, dude, keep going. And he's like, I don't think anything else I have to say is right. I'm like, that's too bad. You have to keep going. I don't let them get away. So they have to keep saying something. And he was dead quiet. And the kid next to him says, here, tell me, and I'll be wrong out loud. And it was really great because he was willing to save him. And I've created an atmosphere where it's okay to be wrong. And we hopefully will learn from that. The problem is most of the time they're right. They just don't have the confidence. So we're building that confidence in that they can grow from being wrong or right. The other thing that I've instituted lately a ton more is partial thought, incomplete thought, or rough draft, and stopping them. And I make it pretty obvious that they shouldn't be done with their thought. So for instance, I'll stop maybe a minute into a problem where nobody, including the fast finishers, are done with something. And it's a little bit harder. And I'll say, okay, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you have to share with how you got where you are. And if it's a kid that's saying, I haven't even started, I have no idea where to start, that's something that somebody else can help with. So they see that even the fast finishers aren't done. I've stopped them. So when I stop them at the end of the time that I've allotted for that problem, if they're not done, well, the last time I stopped them, the class wasn't done. So it's okay to not be done. Mm-hmm. It's okay to keep learning as long as you're moving forward. And so as long as you're trying, it's going to be growth. So
yeah, that's great. Any final thoughts on?
No, I think, okay, one final thought is I think sometimes, especially in this year and how hard it is, I think one of the things that we have to remember is they're here, they're showing up. Mm-hmm. And so there is growth happening. Yep. It may be small, it may be incremental, but it is happening. And so no matter what kind of kid you're facing or what they're doing, they're here, they're growing in some way, and we need to recognize that growth for something that it's worth. So
yeah, sometimes we have these like benchmarks in our mind, like you have to hit these, but in reality, any progression is progression.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
I've had to learn that over teaching like remedial classes for 9 years. One of the biggest things is you're not looking for the A student. You're not looking for that. You're looking for how much can you help them grow.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I love that. Thank you so much.